Khalyla, not really one to recognize like parody or being made fun of.
Not really.
Went on Rick Glassman's Take Your Shoes Off podcast. Now, Rick Glassman is a guy who doesn't do anything seriously. Everything's a bit. Mm-hmm. He had Brendan Schaub on his show during COVID, and he made Brendan Schaub wear a hazmat suit. And he did. Brendan wore a fucking hazmat suit.
Yes, he did. You're right.
To do Rick Glassman's podcast. Mm-hmm. So Rick Glassman's doing a thing where he's just not serious. He's a character. He's a bit.
It's fun.
He had Khalyla sit out on the patio or out on the deck while he sat in on the couch on his show.
Like a dog.
Like a dog.
Oh,
wait.
It's like a dog.
He had her outside like a bad dog, and she's admitted to jacking off dogs before.
German Shepherds.
Wait a minute. Is Rick Glassman this smart?
Yeah, I think so. I put two and two together pretty quick.
He went on The Fighter and the Kid recently, and he just completely obliterated them on their own show. But they're both a couple of jock meatheads, so they didn't get what he was doing.
It was over their head.
Yeah, and he just kept laying it on thick.
Yeah.
Khalyla is on Take Your Shoes Off with Rick Glassman. I loved this clip because it's just... Khalyla is a sociopath who wants everything on her terms.
Needs it.
She needs everything on her terms. She hates being out of control. That's why she has Bobby Lee. So easy to keep him under control. She broke up with him. She still got the company. She's still got the show, and she's still got Bobby under her little finger, probably making him think he's still got a chance.
Bobby can be kept in line.
Yes. What she didn't like about all this Brendan shit is that even though Brendan and Brian took the worst punches out of it, she got exposed a lot too. Mm-hmm. And now she's starting to regret it. Let's play this clip from Rick Glassman. And I can tell you this, he ain't buying her shit. And she doesn't understand that she's being mocked.
Challenge is sitting next to your partner that you love very much, who you've been with for 7 years, and then not giving too much of that away.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. You're saying the challenge is trying not to give it away? The challenge is that you're not giving enough away?
The challenge is that I've already given it away.
Oh, so you think that your tank is empty?
I think that there's pieces of information that I wish that people didn't know about Bobby and my relationship.
Because you want...
Isn't she the one who, against Bobby's wishes, went on H3 and said that they were in an open relationship?
She spilled everything, and he sat there like saying, no, I didn't want to talk about that.
Isn't she the one who was giving away all those little cutesy clues about who the wog to the trug guy was?
Yes.
Isn't she the one who stuck the knife in and twisted the blade anytime it was Brendan or Brian or Bobby or anybody like that?
Every time.
And isn't she the one who offered up? Nobody asked her, hey, Khalyla, you ever jerked off your dog or fucked your brother? Nobody ever asked her that. Did she not volunteer that information?
Pretty freely.
So now when documentaries are getting made about her and the entire internet's shitting on her, now she wishes she would have held some stuff back.
Oh, it just doesn't feel so good today.
But did it not feel good when it was Brian and Brendan on the back foot and Bobby on the back foot? That felt great.
She loved it.
She was smiling and manipulating and loving every minute of it. But now that she's the heel, everyone's seeing through her, including Gavin Mcinnes, which we'll play in a little bit. Now she wishes she would have held a little bit back. She is textbook, brother.
Want it to maintain private, or because you want to have something else to talk about?
Because it turns out that I'm a lot more of a private person than I thought I was.
Oh.
So
look at that. How is he not fucking with her?
But he absolutely is. He does. It's almost like keeping the demons out of your house, like she doesn't want her in there.
I love that he brings people on his show who are too self-absorbed and stupid to understand that this is a goof, because nobody would put a hazmat suit on to do a podcast unless they were really stupid. Nobody would agree to sit out on the deck while the other person sits on the couch to do a podcast, clearly being made fun of.
I gave away 3 years ago, I'm actually not okay with today. Does that make sense? Yeah, so information that I was once very kind of like, here, have this. This is what's happening in our sex life. And now I'm just like, I don't want people to know that.
Only because of the result you got. Like, if it would have made you look really good, or if the internet... She honestly thought she was going to be an internet darling and everyone was going to love her. And now she's being absolutely trashed. And she's like, well, I'm just this poor little girl who just, I feel like I've been... I guarantee in the next 6 months, we're going to have Khalyla try to rehab her image by going... I just didn't know what the internet was like, and I really regret a lot of the things I've done. And
she's starting.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of that.
We're getting the Khalyla remake here.
Why do you not want them to know that?
It's because I've changed. Who I was 32 is not who I am at 35, and I feel a lot more protected.
Wow.
Are you kidding? The poetry and that, I always forget his channel name. I'm so sorry. XLP. XLP's documentaries are great. Go watch those that he did on Khalyla. The poetry you wrote, the things you've said to Bobby over the years, everything else, the manipulation, all of that. You're still doing that to this day. This is a form of that. So spare me the I've changed thing. This is everything this woman does. Never believe it because it's all a calculated image move. You know who she reminds me of? Meghan Markle.
Oh, she's worse. This chick is way worse than Meghan Markle.
She's worse, but she's on that plane where it's like,
I understand.
I'm going to say and do everything I want. But when the consequences come due, I'm going to play the victim.
But to me, the biggest difference between those two is Meghan Markle's not smart. This chick is smart and evil.
Yes.
She knows what she's doing. She wants to work people into whatever lather in her direction that favors her.
Of certain parts of my life now. And that's kind of the tricky part about podcasting. When we first started was 5 years ago. I was 30 years old. I was a lot more reckless. And I'm changed. I've grown in a different way.
Most of the shit that people find detestable about you've done in the last 12 months.
Exactly. Or it's just came out.
Right.
Like, it's not like anyone beat any of these things out of her. She just kind of offers it up.
Yeah.
All the time.
Ploopsicle says, you know what, though? She is a K9 out of 10.
She is hot.
She's a K9 out of that. You know what? That's pretty fair. You're right. You know what? We're being too hard on her. K9 out of 10, absolutely. Alex Bernal with $5 says, how have these broads not learned from Amber Heard? I feel like these are the kind of broads that were like that were on Amber Heard's side during that whole thing.
They think that went down completely wrong.
Yeah. What's smart about her? She's a shit talker. That's all. Well, no. She picks her targets very well. Like picking the Bobby Lee target was very smart because Bobby is remarkably weak and she drained him of everything.
She's not just a shit talker. Master manipulators are very, very smart and know exactly who to go after and what makes them tick.
You notice, like, as much of a goof as he is, Brendan did push back on her quite a bit and revealed a couple of things. Like I said, Brendan took the worst punches in that thing, but over time, Khalyla has started to look worse, and he kind of did push back. He's like, no, Khalyla, you did do this. You did. Those IP addresses did come from the Tigerbelly offices on Reddit. Khalyla has said that she's an internet sleuth and she fucks with people. I get it. I do believe that she's been doing some operating. Zero Dark Tony says, I'm inclined to believe that she wrecks the fuck out of a dick. Oh, this is good. Alex calling her Khalyza Blue.
Khalyza? Oh.
Khalyza Blue. Bries says, get ready for the Khalyla Eliza Blue Tour 2023. Oh, and there'll be victimized women on the internet, the product of harassment. And
gee, can we throw anyone else in there?
Oh, that's a pretty good start right there.
Oh,
that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, she's awful. And with the whole IP address thing too, like she started that whole thing. That's pretty obvious.
100%. And she started that part.
And that was pretty smart for a while because nobody could figure that out. But then they're all pointing fingers. Eventually, they got her.
Her and the girls on Trash Tuesday started the Walk Me to the Trug thing, and then tried to play innocent. Like they gave away. It's like me on this show when I'm trying to keep things to myself, but I give away enough hints where everybody knows.
Yeah.
They did that about the Brendan thing.
Yep.
So, and then when Brendan came on and he went, you kind of fucked me on that whole deal. What? What did I do?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You want to do, if we have time for the open relationship thing, we'll do it. This is an old clip. I want to go to Gavin. I thought this was pretty interesting. You know, Gavin's an older guy. He's not like us. He doesn't have the energy to like
look into
these people, make fun of them, talk about them. He's more of a news guy.
Yep.
Gavin is. But Gavin had a take on Khalyla, like, oh, she's hot and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Gavin actually looked deeper into it and he went, no, this chick's fucking, she's crazy.
And he's not a dumb guy either.
And Gavin's not a dumb guy. I wanted to show you this clip. This is Gavin. even starting to figure it out when it comes to Khalyla.
A long time ago, I mocked Bobby Lee for losing Khalyla Kun from the Philippines.
First of all, Gavin saying the last name Kun will always be troubling to me. I will always think that he relishes in it a little too much.
Yeah.
I saw these videos. I sent them to you after the notes. And I watched them, and I feel sorry for dudes that do deep dives on comedians like this. It seems so sad to be so into someone else's life. Remember when I was...
See, and I think if you have the time, fuck it, do it.
Why not?
Why not?
I think for us, I think the Eliza Blue thing is really burnt out, but there's still a lot of people really invested in that.
So. I was into that for like a week.
Exactly, that's how I felt too. Yeah.
Following dudes around when I first moved to New York in the late 90s, and I'm following on Dash Snow and recording, what Iraq, his crew were doing. And he goes, you're always like talking about other people's shit. Do your own shit. And that changed me. He's dead now, but he changed me.
I love how Gavin's laying this out like, it changed me. Don't talk about other people's shit. He's about to talk about someone else's shit.
Right.
This is one thing I wish people with shows would do. Just admit that this shit is fun. I think
some people do, but
yeah, just admit we're having a good time. We're fucking around. We're entertaining our audience. From the day you're born to the day you die, gossip is interesting on some level.
As long as it's not you.
Right. As long as it's not you, gossip is fun.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. had a bit where he made fun of Eric Clapton's kid falling out of a window. And somebody was judging him for it, and they went, oh, well, if your kid fell out of a window and died, would that be funny? He goes, no, not to me, but I'm sure to somebody else it would be.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yes, always.
He's like, yeah, no, of course, if it happens to me, that's not going to be funny to me, but it's going to be funny to a guy like me who it didn't happen to.
If somebody out there heard that one of Aaron's kids fell out of a window... Like awful in this household, right? Yeah. But all of you are laughing.
People fucking people who love us would make the too soon joke.
Eventually, one of your friends would laugh or some shit too.
But in these videos, he does a super deep dive. He also can't pronounce the word "woad." He calls it the "woad,"
which I don't want to get into.
Okay.
That I don't want to bring up. That's not fair to you guys.
So Brendan Schaub, who's kind of a dork, it's like an MMA dude who became a comedian. He's not funny. But I like him. I don't care. But he got them to admit that they were in this horrific relationship. And I realized all the info I was getting was from Bobby Lee. That's like getting info from a hostage.
Right. That's very biased.
So Gavin's original take on this was, Bobby's a dork who plays too many video games and he lost this hot chick. Mm-hmm. And, people don't do this enough. Gavin actually made this video to say, I was wrong. Here's what I found out it was. That's honorable.
I like that.
So, no, she did not improve his life. She's not the reason he's successful. He's got a podcast now. This guy who did this video did a deep dive on all of his IMDb. And he's had 5.6 gigs as far as appearing in movies and TV a year for the past 10 years consistently. So she didn't help him. Now I was kind of brainwashed too by her because she's so pretty that I went, oh, she's a catch, and he up because he plays video games all day. No, she tortured him. Get this, you ready for this? I feel like I might have to say NSFW. She her brother and he killed him.
Whoa.
She admitted that.
She says that.
No, yeah, it's not allegedly.
It's not alleged. She said that in this video that's playing back here.
Yeah, she fucked her brother and then he clocked out. I think that's a term I can use. Yeah,
like a month later,
on YouTube.
He checked out.
Yeah.
Yep.
She says it, and she laughs. Yeah, back then I was my brother, and he's not around anymore. He killed him. I mean, what's worse? You're in the hell zone. So my new take is that she was torturing him, making him give all her money to her. She moved into his house. She moved her family into his house, and he was so happy to get a 9? He was so happy to get
K9.
A K9.
That's what we learned from our audience today. She's a K9.
Mm-hmm.
A 9 that he just was a slave. And they've broken up now because she just squeezed him so dry that he's just a husk of a man, a broken man. Like he's ready to kill himself. He just says, I want to sit alone for the rest of my life.
He was on that Bobby Kelly podcast that we were watching last night. Mm-hmm. That was just a broken dude. He's nothing now. He's not even a person.
He doesn't even want to talk about anything either. No. It's over.
Because to him, this is love.
We're never going to do the DNA test because I don't think I'd be able to handle that.
Got it.
But there are whispers in the family because our families are very close.
Whoa.
And we sort of grew up together.
So a lot of Filipinos are related, though. Back to the original point.
Thank you.
That you said was racist.
Oh, so maybe she didn't know it was her brother?
That's true.
So check out those videos.
I love those two. We've talked about those two
That's
before.
true, ladies.
Did you show the titles?
I did. It's Khalyla Kuhn, the most sadistic woman in comedy.
Yep, that's XLP.
XLP.
I had that wrong.
We're in that video.
We were in that video. Yeah, XLP's a good guy. So yeah, it's like when a Gavin Mcinnes is picking it up
and walks any take he had about you back.
Yeah.
I mean,
when Gavin Mcinnes is walking it back, that means people are starting to see the shit.
Right.
That's for sure.
I don't think he's not somebody that usually cares about that.
Venthril writes homegirl on the stream right now looks better than Khalyla. There you go. How's that to boost you up tonight?
Who said what?
That would be Venthril.
Oh, well, thank you.
Good man. Jake says, how does Bobby let Khalyla still live with him? It's pathetic. He even takes care of her adopted stepniece. Yeah, I think they're moving out now. Khalyla found out that Spain is legalizing bestiality, so she sees an opportunity. I think it's part of the open relationship thing.
It wasn't even Bobby finally making her move out or her family.
Right.
Like, it was on Khalyla's terms. Everything's always been on Khalyla's terms. And
well, it's like Gavin said. She squeezed him dry of everything, and now she's heading on down the road.
She squeezed him dry of everything, but now he doesn't know how to operate on his own without her. He needs her.
Yeah. Let's go to Dolly's Llama. I think I got that right. I was with a Filipino girl that slept with her cousin. What is with that? Well, I mean, look, that's two examples, so that must be the way it is.
She sat in that video claiming like she didn't know that this guy was her brother and that they just grew up really close to each other. But then apparently after they had sex, she found out. I don't know about that.
I love that Upset Duck decided to take a shot at the Sklar brothers, who, look, I'm no Sklar brothers fan, but it just seems like way out of left field. He goes, how come nobody invited the genius Sklar brothers to a podcast? You get twice the hackitude for one. Why, sir? That almost seems personal. I can guarantee you, in this show's history, we have never and will never talk about the Sklar brothers, and that seemed personal. Like you just had to get that out there.
I don't even know who they are.
I don't even know who you are. She is moving out, and he is still the custodian of the niece. Oh, God.